Yo, what up? What up? What up? What up? Six people, six entire people. Oh, yeah, good stuff. Um, Housekeeping things. TommyJohnCoaching.com. Subscribe to the email list. It will be an initial pop up right up on your screen as soon as you open the website. I'm not going to send you any promotional bullshit. You'll see my sales and stuff that we run with Omega. You'll see anything like that, but I'm not pushing coaching down anyone's throat or anything like that. So it's not going to be like a please hire me. I have 3 spots left. Please fill them so I can buy my son diapers. I'm not doing any of that shit. You guys can hire me. You cannot. It's okay. Love you all anyways. So TommyJohnCoaching.com, please sign up for the emails. Help a brother out. Next thing is Omega is running their sale, 20% off, additional 10% off with code Tommy. So if you guys do want good quality, research things, you can find those there. Cool. That's some housekeeping stuff. Just for the people that catch this on replay, so they can utilize all those things as well. Let's see. Oh, we got 10 people in here so far. I'll let it cook for a minute, and then I'll start digging into these questions that are now coming through. Coming through. Ooh, do. Yeah. We'll let it cook. Up to 13 people. Guys, please hit the thumbs up button for your brother so we can build my algorithm or whatever they call it. I want to be famous. Amos. Who do we got? A DLC in the house. Joey Small Legs, not Small Legs, in the house. We got Mark. We got Dylan. Dylan says, hola. We got Raymond Matthew, my man. Colton Krieg in the house, alive and well. J Money, happy to have you. John Punilla, is that how you say your name? I hope I didn't fuck that up. You've been my client for like a year, so that's how I always say it in my head. Dylan's got good questions. We'll get to those. Raymond's got some good questions. Number 74. Welcome. I keep missing these till I signed up for the email list. Look at this shit, guys. This is what the fucking email list is for. That's what the email list is for, guys. I just want you to be involved. Colton says alive and well. Yeah, there's a joke in there somewhere, but we will keep Colton's life private is what I'm trying to say. All right, let me get rolling into these questions. Joey's on the email list. Thank you, Joey. You're the man. Lead off question for the day. Okay, guys, here's a training question. I love training questions. For back day, or pull day, whatever you guys want to call it, whatever you do call it, how do you sequence your movements? Do you do an overhead movement to open up? Do you open up? Do overhead movement to open up, bent over for thickness, then chest supported? So this is really interesting question, actually, because there's more to this than people think. And this is a lot of the stuff I'm learning from Danny, as well as things I've picked up from over the years. But sequencing is extremely important. And the way I used to think about it was quite simple. It was more like something to activate and open up, kind of like Joey's talking about. Then you get into something a little more compound, explosive, power type movement. So if we're talking about back, I would start with like, I don't know, like a pull over or a straight arm pull down. And then I would move into like some sort of bent over row, like Joey's saying. And then I would move into something more a bit more isolated, and chase like a good big fat pump. So something like a supported row is kind of what he's saying. And then I would move into like a stretching type movement, like a Dante row, or go back to the pullover machine or straight arm pull down. Um, that's how I used to sequence things like in my brain. And that's a lot of stuff I picked up from Meadows. It's a lot of stuff I picked up from my history of powerlifting. So now, now that I work with Danny, a lot of it is, the movements that you do before the next can really change, how much pressure and dynamic fluid is moving through the body and where it's being applied. And it's quite interesting, the more she explains it, because some of the shit that you do before the next movement can really fuck up the next movement if you start down regulating, the movement patterns and how efficient the body's able to move through certain ranges of motion. So to make everything real simple, um, how do you sequence things? I have two different pull days. One of them is like a posterior day, which is what we did today. That starts with like leg curl or like a GHR, some hip thrust of some kind, glute work, stuff like that. Then we go into like a heavy chest supported row. Then we go into um, like a lat pull down, and then we finish off with a stretching type movement. And that's how we sequenced our posterior day today. My typical back day, um, we start with a rack chin or an assisted chin up. And that's to get the scapulas to start moving and opening up, exactly what you're saying, Joey. So, yeah, he's saying more of an overhead movement to start opening things up, get the scapulas moving, start finding those ranges, things like that. So, yeah, it's actually exactly what we do. From there, yeah, we go into some sort of big fat row, whether that's bent over, not always. A lot of times we'll go into like a chest supported row, and then we'll do some sort of bent over row. The way I think about sequence um, is where I got this from powerlifting is, and I was just talking about this with Raymond the other day. It's like a pyramid, right? But so what you do is you get something that's opens you up and starts warming you up, and then you start hitting your big like heavy movements. We'll call them heavy. I don't know what the fuck else to call them. You guys know what they are. A squat pattern, a barbell row or some type of heavy compound row pattern, some type of pressing. Even if that's a prime machine or whatever, that's fine. It's still like a compound, big bread and butter movement, right? So you have your warm up activation stuff, open you up, kind of how Joey described it. Maybe your chest day that's rear delts, maybe it's like a pec fly, whatever just gets shit moving. Then you move into your bread and butter movement, which you're going to spend some time. If you guys are log booking that first, um, after the warm up movement, that first initial movement, that's your bread and butter. If you are trying to progress in weight, that's going to be the movement where you're trying to beat your numbers. Um, so I would call that your bread and butter movement. From there, I want to start thinking about let's do Joey said back day. So no, let's do a chest day because most of your chests suck. I've seen all of you, and you all have shitty upper bodies. Sorry, besides Joey. No, I'm just kidding. But chest is hard for a lot of us to grow. Um, so let's take a chest day. We'll open up with a pec deck, right? Or a machine fly or a cable fly. And we're going to do, I don't know, guys, like fucking 3 sets of 12 to 15, whatever. It doesn't really matter. We're going to start getting blood in there, opening the chest up, opening things up, getting the scapulas moving, getting the shoulders warm. Even the triceps will start to get a little warm. The whole body's going to start to get warm. From there, we would move into like a prime incline machine, for example. Okay, so now from there, I'm thinking to myself, what movement is going to make that prime incline stronger, right? So you're like, okay, we did the fly to warm up. The prime incline was the bread and butter. Now, where do we have to go from there to build that prime incline? Well, think about what you use for the prime incline machine. You're going to be using triceps, you're going to be using shoulders, and you're going to be using more chest, right? So a really good place to go from there, in my opinion, would be like a dumbbell press of some kind. And because that's going to train the triceps, the shoulders, and the chest. Or it can just be a different machine with maybe a different rep range, right? So maybe the prime incline you were shooting for like 8 to 10. And then your next movement, let's call it a dumbbell press just for fun. Maybe you're shooting for like 3 sets of 12 to 15. Okay. And now from there, my mind goes, okay, well, now how do I build the dumbbell movement? What can I do to make that movement better? Well, we can either do some triceps, we can do some shoulders, or we can do like a pec fly, right? Because all of those muscles are involved in the dumbbell press. And if we build the dumbbell press, it's going to build our prime incline press, right? So I think about it like a tier system, and your bread and butter movement is what you're trying to build. And guys, this is from the strength world, but you can kind of see how there's correlation to bodybuilding. And again, I think they're two separate worlds, in my opinion. I think some people lean way too hard one way versus the other. I do think you need to get stronger in bodybuilding rep ranges. That doesn't mean you need to chase a logbook, in my opinion, unless it helps you. And if it helps you, that's really good, right? Keep doing that. Um, I won't drag that on too long. I just wanted to talk about sequencing because Joey brought it up, and I think it's really important. So that's what I would encourage you to think about, Joey, is like when you go to train back, you like exactly what you said. Okay, I'm going to do something that opens me up and starts warming me up. And then I'm going to move to my big bread and butter. He said, for example, a bent over row of some kind, right? Even if that's a T-bar row or whatever. Hey, maybe it's a rack chin or I mean a rack deadlift, right? Or a block pull. And then from there, Joey's going to think, okay, how do I make my bent over row stronger? I don't know. I can do a chest supported row and make my bent over row stronger. Okay, how do I make my chest supported row stronger? Well, I don't know. I can train my lats from a different direction. Maybe I'll do a high row, or maybe I'll do a lat pull down. Those would all make your chest supported row stronger. And then, okay, how do I make that stronger? Well, I don't know, maybe train your biceps, do some hammer curls. You got stronger arms and biceps. It's going to make your lat pull down better. So you just always think about it as like a tier system. And then I still, that still very well correlates to the activate compound type of movement, heavier, think compound, think pump, big pump, and then think stretch to finish, stretch and open up to finish, right? That's a John Meadows sequence, but those are both the two things that go through my mind whenever I'm programming um, when it comes to sequencing. Good question. Good question. I could talk about that for too long, but I'm not going to. Um, Mark says, "What gear should I use? Real gear, stuff that's real." So hopefully you know where to get that. Joey says, "What's Landon's favorite toy?" Legos are the only right answer. He does like we don't have any little Legos yet because he's a bit too small, but we have like big, massive ones. So he does like those. He likes to build, real tall towers and then obviously knock them over. He likes fucking dude. He likes cleaning supplies. So like, you guys see me post it all the time. But he likes vacuums. Like we have we have different toy vacuums for him that he likes, and he likes our real vacuum, of course. He likes like his mop and like dustpan and shit. It's quite funny. But those are the two that come to mind. How do you know if you should actually take a day off training or if you're just being weak? If you like truly wake up and you're like, I don't want to train today, like everything in my mind tells me I don't want to train today, just don't. Because like, here's the thing, like Oh no, I took 1 day off training. That doesn't make you a bitch. What makes you a bitch is when you go train when you shouldn't have and you get hurt. Now you're going to be a bitch for the next 6 months because you're hurt. You're going to lose muscle. You're going to cry and no one's going to fucking care because you didn't listen to your body. So no, I'm not some tough guy like, oh, just fucking suck it up and go train. Like, just take the day off. It doesn't fucking matter. 1 day isn't going to make you bigger or smaller. You got to zoom out and look at years and years over time of fucking showing up and doing the work. Yeah, my 1 day is not going to change fuck all. Sorry, just won't. Oh yeah. Colton talking about SLU, MOTS-C, NAD, 5-amino. I wrote it off for a while, but he is getting into the mitochondria stuff. SLU alone has made a huge difference. Yeah, guys, the mitochondria stuff works. Here's what you need to know though. Colton's got his shit in line. He's sleeping, he's training hard, and he's eating. He's doing all the basics. So if you're gonna skip those fucking basics and you're gonna just go buy this shit he's talking about, I mean, still use code Tommy, but you're fucking stupid, and all you're doing is making me money and not making any gains. So yeah, still code Tommy, but get your shit in line first before you start fucking with anything. Anything. John said I would like a Tommy John sweater. Yeah, I'll work on that. I have someone working on some stuff for me. I won't make it public yet. Oh shit, you guys are fucking. Where did I get lost? We were talking about fucking Colton's mom and Jay Money's mom and mitochondria, and then I got lost in sweaters. Oh, here we go. Dylan, multiple questions. Uh-oh. What have you found to be your favorite morning routine? Is question number one. How's your bulk coming along? As in weight gain, strength workouts, expectations so far. Morning routine. I mean, I don't know that it's anything fancy, but I'll tell you what it is. It's the same every day. I wake up at about 4:25. Go into the bathroom, contacts go in, take a piss, weigh myself. Red light goes on. Morning drink goes down. Any type of gear gets injected then. Brush my teeth, tongue scrape, deodorant, clothes, downstairs, let the dog out, feed the dog, go into the garage, take my peptides because I have a fridge in my garage with all my peptides. Come back in, eat meal one. After meal one, I clean up around the house, empty the dishwasher from the night before. Just try to stay on my feet so that meal digests. So I'm moving around. Make sure my gym bag is by the garage door. Everything's ready to go. And then I'm on my way to the gym. That's my morning routine. With the red light on, before my morning drink, I hit vacuums. I do vacuums for 5 minutes. How's my bulk going? It's fine. Weight gain since the show in November, I was roughly 203 on stage. I was 238 this morning. Workouts are great, very strong, getting very, very strong very rapidly. Biggest change in the last year. How can we? Let me answer this one first. The biggest change in the last year, trying to be more present with my family. Has nothing to do with bodybuilding. Bodybuilding doesn't change. It's the same stupid, boring shit every fucking day. It's miserable sometimes, but it's what I love to do. It's what I get to do. I'm able to do it. Some days I fucking hate it, if I'm being honest, but I still do it. I still do it because I'm too dumb to do anything else. How can we better help you grow at the same time? I like that question. That's very kind and thoughtful of you. If you mean me grow as a coach, and I guess would I call myself an influencer? I would, but it's gay. I don't like that word. Sorry, but I don't know what else to call it. So if you are referring to me like in my internet exposure or whatever, just share my stuff. That always helps. Hitting the like button, things like subscribing to my email list, like simple shit like that. Using my coupon code if you guys need something. I know a lot of you have plenty of sources and everything, so that's fine. As long as you're getting good stuff and staying healthy, that's all I care about. So yeah, just continuing to support me like you guys do. If that's what you mean by that question, I really appreciate that. And yeah, sharing my stuff and just getting behind me like I get behind you guys and push you to get better. Um DLC says we'll hopefully have merch going here real soon, guys. Yeah. David's gonna help me on that. So that's something we're working on. How do you prefer to program a posterior day? Movements in the orders. I like to start with the lower body. So like we were talking about sequencing earlier, I would probably start with a hamstring curl unless I felt really good coming in. And then I'll go right to some sort of glute ham raise. Or Raymond and I use the inverse curl because we're grateful enough to have one at our gym. So we're lucky enough to have an inverse curl, which is, in my opinion, I prefer that over a GHR, just for my own personal reasons. From there, we move into some sort of either a 45-degree hyperextension or a glute bridge. Right now, we're doing glute bridges. And then we move into like our bread and butter movement, which is an RDL of some kind, some sort of hip hinge. I guess some people could put good mornings there. That would be a place to put those. Then from there, we move into our back. So we do a row movement and then an overhead pull movement. Right now, we're doing a single arm lat pull down. And then we do something like a troponin row or a straight arm pull down, something to stretch you out, open you back up. And that's how we do that. My programming is written by Danny Lamartina. That is how I would likely write it anyways. But yeah, she runs the programming. So whatever the fuck she puts down, I do it. I don't ask questions. I do ask questions, but she explains them very well. What I mean is I don't question her knowledge. I can hire anyone in the world. There's no one more that I trust. There's no one I trust more than Danny to do my programming. Guys, I've worked with a lot of people as far as programming. You got to remember I've been powerlifting a long time. So like when we meaning powerlifters, when we went to hire a coach, it wasn't a guy doing nutrition for you. They would sometimes throw you like a diet just so you're not miserably fat. But like their thing was programming. Programming meaning, training, working out. So those are the type of coaches that I used to hire or first hired before, hiring people like Skip and AJ. So keep that in mind. Danny is by far, I would hire her a million fucking times over if I could. A million times over. I feel better than I ever have. And I've trained for a long, long time. I've trained for longer than some of you have been alive. And that's not a shot at anyone. It just gives you some perspective, though. Doesn't mean I've been good at it, but I've done it, right? Raymond Matthew, what's your favorite Ninja Creamy Protein powder? Axe and Sledge. Farm Fed. Right now I like the never ending chocolate. So that's what I'm on right now. Number 74, he signed up for the email list. I suggest you do the same thing. That's why he is in the live right now. I'm assuming it's a he. I don't mean to do that. but you left me with number 74, so I don't have any clues. All right, let's get to okay, here's another one. This one's from David. Any tips or cues, positions, tweaks to help connect with my side delts? Yeah, I have great connection with front and rear, but not side. Man, there's a lot that I could that I could go into with side delts. You know, one, I would love to see how you're doing them now. Um, but typically, what happens the most of the time, what I see is the traps get too turned up, and people are really just using the trap. You know, um, that happens for several different reasons. Sometimes the weight's too heavy, not always. Um, but that that's typically what happens. The other reason that happens is if you're sequencing the side laterals towards the end of your workout, everything's already tuned up and like pumped, right? So like let's say you're doing a typical push day, like your chest is pumped, you're kind of rolled in, the traps are ready to take over. So then you go to hit your side delts and bro, they're not there because the traps are so ready to work because they're pumped and full of blood that it's hard to turn everything down. Um, and it, one way to explain this, and it's kind of weird, but hopefully it makes sense. Imagine like in your head, you're about to do a side lateral, and think about all the muscles as people in a room talking. I learned this is something I picked up from Danny. So think about all the muscles in your body is like you're in a room and you hear all these different conversations. And if you're anything like me, that drives you fucking crazy. But um, you hear all these different conversations. The goal is to turn down all those other conversations and turn up the one that you're trying to focus on. That would be you're trying to focus on the conversation with your side delt. So try to turn everything else down, like let the traps kind of relax. One way to do that is thinking about keeping the arms long, right? And dragging, dragging your arms like I pretend like I'm in a skateboard half pipe or a snowboarding half pipe, whatever extreme sport you prefer. So I pretend like I'm in a half pipe, right? Hopefully you know what the fuck that is. And I pretend like I'm sliding up and down the walls of the half pipe. So, like dragging my knuckles down across the ground and up the side walls, right? And um, you really got to, like I said, think about turning down those traps. And then some other cues are I don't grip the dumbbell really hard. Like if you're squeezing that motherfucker, I feel like it turns everything else up. So I kind of just I have a solid grip on it, but I kind of let it sit in my hand, more so than like white knuckling the motherfucker. Um, some other side delt tips. I like to I do kind of think about some pinky pressure at the top. So the back of it will kind of like you're pouring a pitcher almost is what they used to say back in the day. You're kind of pouring a pitcher of water out. And I know you're not watching because you guys are grocery shopping, but I'm showing this on camera. But those are some things to think about. Like I said, sequencing can be huge. Another one to think about is doing them um, high incline chest supported, which would look more like a Y raise. And people think this is for rear delts, but it's not. It really hits your side delt well. The other thing to consider is doing them with cables versus doing them with dumbbells or doing them on a machine versus doing them with cables or dumbbells. That's something to consider. I feel like foot pressure is something to consider, which sounds crazy. But whenever I keep my knees kind of soft and almost squat down a little bit and I think about really heavy pressure on my feet, on the center of my feet. That helps me for whatever reason. Danny could explain it. I can't. I just know it works. Um, let's see. Sometimes doing them against a band can really help because the tension hits hard. The strength curve is different than a dumbbell or a cable or a machine. Excuse me. So those are all stuff to keep in mind. If we train at the Arnold together, hopefully I can show you some of this stuff. Um, I think sequencing can be huge. And like my side delts personally really blow the fuck up when I do things like trisets, like 3 movements in a circuit type idea, like a superset, but with 3. hopefully, hopefully that makes sense. Uh David says, Krieg, you need a new job. Yeah. Yeah. That's hilarious. I just thought my fucking microphone was muted that whole time. I'm like, well, that would be weird. Scotty Mize in the house. My man. Welcome. Happy Saturday. Tom in the house. Sup? Krieg says he's working on a new job. Good. Scotty says, tossed in some Cagrelintide today because I'm a weak-minded, hungry bitch. And dieting without prep is so much harder. Guys, and girls, I see you, Amy. Fuck me, is dieting hard when you don't have a fucking show planned and you just want to be dope and be jacked. Fucking dieting is so stupid. I'm with Scotty on this. You guys are like, I love my diet food. I'm like, you're fucking stupid, dude. You are stupid. I don't care what you guys say. I love my chicken and rice. Guys, stop it. Fucking stop it. You're lying to yourself. If you would choose chicken and rice over a cheeseburger, we're not friends. We're not friends. I have nothing in common with you. And you all know I eat the fucking chicken and shitty chicken and rice. You all know I do. It does not mean I wouldn't rather have a burger. Anyone that says they would rather have their chicken and rice, they're fucking lying. If they're not lying to you, they're lying to themselves. Sorry. Tell me I'm wrong. My friend Ken Hill, you guys know him as Skip. He said, when you try to make your bodybuilding food taste good, all it's like doing is putting lipstick on a pig, you know? It's very true. Yeah. I agree with you, Scott. I agree. And anyone that wants to say that they'd rather have chicken and rice over a fucking, I don't know, a nice steak dinner or like a cheeseburger and fries, you guys, you're full of shit. You're full of shit. Oh, all right. Oh, sorry, I'm going off. I'm going off here. That one hit me close to home. Amy in the house. False, she says. My chest is outstanding. I insulted all of your chest development. Amy's is far superior to you all's. Joey said you don't count, Amy. She said I have chest striations when I wash my hands. She's not wrong. She has fucking rear delt striations year round too. Joey said you're not fat like me. Smalls in the house. If you do take a day off training and decide halfway through the day, do you swap to low day meals? Fuck no, dude. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. I eat the food that I have with me. I train in the morning, so that's never a thing. But for those who are in your situation that do train after work, fuck no, dude. No. I even eat my post-workout cereal. If I take a last minute audible where I'm like, I'm not training today. Fuck it. And I already have my meals with me. And like, even when I go home, what up, dude? I still hit my post-workout cereal. I don't fucking care. You still need calories to recover. And even when I have people deload, If it's like a full week deload, I'd be like, okay, if you normally train on Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, and Friday, I want you following a training day diet on those days that you're completely off the gym because you still want those calories to recover. So it would be silly to remove the stimulus, but also remove the food. Um, Sometimes, if someone's going to take like an extended deload, let's call it 10, 15 days, where they're just really beat up and they need some time, or we're about to start a contest prep, so we're trying to clean things up and get them real fresh for contest prep. I will send them a custom, we call it like a cleanup diet or a deload diet. Dylan is one that I've done this for. We kind of lean harder into fruits and mitochondria type food, really stimulate the mitochondria health through food, not just peptides. Although, if you do code Tommy, you know it. All right. So, yeah, that's what I would do, Joe or Austin. Sorry. Um, Crunchy in the house. What up? What up? Kava time. New to the live. Welcome. Thank you for being here. Um, What do you utilize more, a single cheat meal or a full skip load? I'm sure it's individualized. Oh man, my clients all do something different. I have clients that are up to 6 skip load meals. So basically, their entire Sunday is whatever the fuck they want all day long, every 2, 3 hours. Um, I have clients where I write a custom cheat meal for them, something like, hey, what are you craving? And they're like, I don't know, I want tacos. So I'm like, I write them a quick little recipe with, I calculate the macros out and, here's tacos with 4 tortillas and low fat cheese, 28 grams of low fat cheese and 8 ounces of lean beef, right? Like something like that. Sometimes I do that. Um, Sometimes I just tell people, take your wife out to dinner. Eat whatever the fuck you want. Don't care what it is. Don't count it. Don't fucking use Chromometer or whatever the fuck it's called. MyFitnessPal, any of that shit. Don't use it. Don't care. Just go take your wife out for dinner. That happens all the time. When you're saying full skip load meal, I don't know what you mean by that. Part of me thinks that you're I feel like there's assumptions about what skip loading is. And skip loading's not one thing in a tight little box. Skip loading is a whole methodology. So lots of different ways to do that. But yeah, good question. I like that. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't, and welcome. Thank you for being here. J Money. Speaking of J Money's mom, Jesus fuck. Sorry about that. Any recommendations for real old lady battling rheumatoid arthritis outside of the basics? Yeah, exercise and diet. Those are the big movers. Exercise and diet, BPC, KPV, TB 500. Those are going to help. Those are going to help. Really, it's important to balance electrolytes, not only in women in general, but specifically in people with rheumatoid arthritis, because water retention will make any sort of arthritis or gout or whatever type of inflammation you have or autoimmune you have, it will make all of those worse. Water retention is our fucking enemy. Any growth hormone users know that. When they wake up with the dead arms and you're fucking trying to walk to the bathroom and take a piss and your arms don't work. Yeah. That's water retention. Pressing on your nerves. Tommy Boy says people have changed their mind about resistant starch. No, they haven't. Especially with rice. No, they haven't. Where are you at with them? Good, bad, or if it causes issues? Yes, you need resistant starch. If you don't get enough resistant starch, you end up with gut dysbiosis. And then you are real small and you suck. No, but I agree. People have people get hooked on like terms and like, oh, resistant starch, insulin sensitivity, like all this stupid shit. And like, guys, I fucking the fucking world just goes in circles and like people get caught on to like a thing. I've been hearing about fucking Mediterranean diet lately. It's like, no shit, you should be eating that way. No shit. I've been hearing that. It's like a thing. Um, and it's like, where the fuck? We were talking about that in the 90s. Why the fuck are we talking about it again? So people just become irrelevant and they just bring up, they just regurgitate. This is what I'm doing right now. I mean, I'm fucking guilty of it too. I'm just regurgitating everything I've learned from people that are much smarter than me. And I just happen to have fucking 20 plus years of that stupid shit built up in my brain. That's how you become an influencer. Yay. And an online coach. um, Alex G, my man, tips for better sleep that's worked for you. Fucking nothing, because my sleep sucks and it's been bad since I was 2 years old. Ask my mom. No, but for real, basic sleep hygiene stuff is like the first big movers. You're also very lean. So if you are speaking about yourself, like your sleep is going to improve as we start to put a little bit more body fat back on you and we start to get more food in you. So that if you are speaking on yourself, that's part of it. Big sleep movers, man. I've posted a million things in the Chase Irons forum about this at some point. I might have to go back and um I might have to go back and post those again at some point. I haven't been able to be active in there as much as I want to be. I just haven't been able to. So tips for better sleep. Stay the fuck off your cell phones. Guys, fuck me. You guys cannot stay off your fucking phones. I love you. I love you all. Um, guys, you notice when you text me at 8:30 at night, I don't fucking respond because my phone is off by 7:15. Off. I will only respond if it's an absolute emergency. I check it one time before I go to bed. Otherwise, I am not just staring at a fucking cell phone. Guys, no way. Absolutely no way. That is literally, I think, one of the biggest movers is shutting your fucking phone off 3, 4 hours before bed. I know people say 1 to 2 hours. I don't think it's enough. I don't think you should be watching TV. I used to think this shit was so stupid until I started doing it. And I'm like, fuck, it's real. It's real. Not only is it like the blue light and stuff, whatever, it's so mentally stimulating to watch your Instagram shit. Um, scrolling through fucking badass muscle cars. Like that's my entire fucking Instagram feed is like 1,000 fucking horsepower muscle cars and like badass luxury cars and shit. So I'm fucking like, yeah, I'm gonna buy all these cars with all the money I don't have. And like fucking stimulated. Yeah, so there's that. You guys all look at other bodybuilders and look at these glutes, bro. Because you're fucking weird. You send them to your friend. You see this guy's glutes? Okay, stay off your phone. Try to keep the home cooler if you can. I don't know where you live. I can't remember where you live. Keep the home cooler, keep the bedroom even cooler, keep it dark, keep all the lights in the house dimmed. Overhead lights should be shut off, probably after 5, 6 p.m. Start building that circadian rhythm. And then opposite of that, in the morning, try to get light exposure, whether that's red light or get your ass outside. I know in the winter, sometimes that's hard depending on where you live. So light exposure in the morning. And then I've said this a million times, but you guys need to be on a fucking sleep schedule. Same time, go to bed at the same time every night, wake up at the same time every fucking morning, even if it's the weekend and you're cuddled up next to your boyfriend. Get the fuck out of bed, you lazy asses. Get your ass out of bed and then get your ass to bed. I know it's hard with swing shifts and stuff like that. But yeah, those are like my first like initial big ticket items. There's a million other things involved in that. We can go into the sympathetic drive system, the CNS system, trying to get your body to shift into a parasympathetic system or parasympathetic drive is very helpful. Things like box breathing, meditation, even just like reading can help. Low impact things on your brain, not scrolling your fucking Instagram feed, you know? So those are like my big ticket items. Yeah, then you can start talking about supplements and nutrition, like tools and tips and tricks. But the big movers are kind of the things that I spoke about, just the overall hygiene. Yeah, knuckles to the ground for this side delt, said Dylan. Yep. He finds it easier with a cable. Yeah, sometimes for sure. Um, okay. Oh, I'm way behind. Sorry, guys. Way behind. Trudge Forward says Scotty Mize has a stomach of iron. That man can take a max dose of Retta and still crush. Um, yeah, yeah. Scotty can't handle. I think he was taking like 12 milligrams of Retta at one point. Um, but the dude's got to eat. He's got to eat. You know, he doesn't have a choice. His body just smokes through the food, and he trains very hard, so that's part of it too. John says homemade burger on sourdough. Yeah, those are great too. No, Joey, there's absolutely no way to make the niacin flush suck less. The only way to do it is to lower the dose. Like if you're taking 500 milligrams now, try to find a lower dosed one. Like if you can find one dosed at like 100 milligrams and just start over and slowly titrate it up, maybe you may be able to alleviate some of that. Matthew Ramos in the house, my man. ZR24. Welcome, dude. What's up? Are there any health related supplements, medications you see as no brainers or non negotiable for competitors, either from yourself or AJ may have introduced you to? Yeah, these have never changed. These were introduced to me from John Meadows. I asked him this in like, I would have to look back at my email. I think it was like 2010. What's up, my boy? Um, and this is whether you're using gear or not. The big movers are ubiquinol, a high quality ubiquinol, a real fish oil, high quality fish oil, not some cheap ass shit, because fish oil will go rancid. So don't buy cheap fish oil. Just my opinion. You guys can fucking cry all you want about it in the comment section. That's okay. Buy a high quality fish oil, whether that's Nordic Natural or Wiley's or Carlson, some of the other ones. You know, there's some high quality fish oil. Buy a high quality fish oil. Do not fucking cheap out on fish oil. Okay, where was I? Ubiquinol, fish oil, vitamin D3 with K2, absolutely essential. And I like a tri blend magnesium, like MagTech. You can find that on Amazon. There's 3 different magnesiums in there. Those are 4 that everyone in this world should take. Everyone. I can't think of anyone that shouldn't. And then when you get into enhanced users, I do think most people should be using nattokinase. No, Tom, I don't think zinc is essential for everyone. I really don't. And you have to take zinc with copper. But no, I don't think zinc's essential for everyone. If you did think that, then I would switch the magnesium for a ZMA. So then you're doing zinc, magnesium, and vitamin B. But not everyone needs vitamin B. So yeah, ZR, those would be my top 4, dude. And I would maybe nowadays add creatine to that for people who exercise. So ubiquinol, high quality fish oil. I can't stress that enough. Um, some sort of D3 with K2, a magnesium blend of some kind is my preferred method to use magnesium, because you got your 3 and 8 and your glycinate, biglycinate. You have all these different blends. I like to have a good at least 3 blends. Leviathan makes full spectrum magnesium. Code Tommy, of course, but shameless plug at Leviathan. ZR says 3 to 4 grams of EPA, DHA. You think is sufficient? Yeah, for most people. For most people, for sure. A few things you need to watch are your blood work, of course. If you're really, really low in HDL, I would push that even higher personally. And then, man, sometimes people have fat malabsorption or low bile acid flow. So like they're slamming fucking fish oil, but they're not absorbing anything. They're just, and you'll start seeing it in your stool. You'll start seeing little fucking fish oil drops like in the water. And that's how you know that maybe something's going on there. Alex G says, I swear, sometimes tell myself I'm going to go to my local dispensary. If you're talking about using THC for sleep, I think that's a really bad idea. THC will absolutely destroy your REM sleep. I've done tests on it, but really just like from an Aura ring or a wearable. And I've seen it with clients too. So I would recommend, if you are trying to go that route, like max 1 milligram of THC and lean into CBD, CBN, and CGN or whatever the fuck the other one is. Yeah, so I would not use THC for sleep. It will knock you the fuck out, but it will not be deep recovery type sleep. Oh, DLC says a cooling blanket is a good investment. Yeah, that's a good idea. Or they have like those cooling mats, which are obviously quite more expensive. CPAP for the fat asses. That's very important. In the not fat asses, most people need a CPAP, just being honest. Hopefully I didn't miss anything. Sorry, ZR had a really good question. I just wanted to nail that one for him. David says turning my phone off, or at least getting off social media, has been great for sleep this week in general, he said. So he noticed it within a week. Guys, I've been trying to stay the fuck off my phone anything after 7 p.m. And unless one of my clients is in a show and their show was in the next 2 to 3, 4 days, I'm not checking in with them after 7. But if you guys are in a show and it's coming up within a couple days, I'm prescribing every meal. Anyone that's done a show with me knows that. That's non-negotiable. Yeah, Joey, that's one of the things I did that for. He says turning your phone off at night gives you time with the family too, or time to read a fucking book. Yeah. When some of you need to fucking learn how to read, that's for sure. Hi, babe. Yeah, THC for sleep, man, it knocks you the fuck out, but it's just not good sleep, unfortunately. And I'm a fan like everyone else, but I just don't use it anymore. I really can't. I tried this year, just a few months ago. I ordered a ton of fucking like low dose organic gummies. The highest dosed ones were like 10 milligram. And man, they would knock me out. And I would just wake up and feel like shit. Like just didn't sleep well. Mark says, any good meditation routines you have found? Joey says, meditation is gay. Dude, you literally just go on YouTube, bro, and just type in guided meditation. Like, if you actually are looking for that. Otherwise, you don't need anything to meditate, bro. Like, it's meant to be an interpersonal thing. It's meant to be like vibing with yourself. And yes, that does sound very homosexual, but it's a very good thing. It's a very good thing for people with crippling anxiety, like myself, or just like general anxiety, or just like being fucking human and having a job, you probably need to meditate at some point. And meditation doesn't need to be like this whole thing where you light candles and fucking wear a dress and heels like some of you do. But um, you just need to sit in silence sometimes. Sit in silence with your own thoughts. It's yeah, and just kind of let those thoughts pass. Literally, the best way to meditate, focus on the breathing. Um, I like to think about the temperature of the breath. So, like in through my nose, I think about making it cold. I think about breathing cold air. I think about the coldest point of the inhale. And then I exhale and I think about hot coming out. I think about the hottest point of the exhale. Sometimes I count the breath, sometimes I don't. Um, and then like I think about different parts of my body and like trying to quiet them down. So like I'll think about, my hamstrings and it's like, okay, let those sink into the ground, right? And then I'll think about my hands and it's like, okay, let the hands expand and grow long and relax. And I think about the shoulders and let the shoulders calm and relax, right? Just like coming in tune with different parts of the body, I think is powerful with meditation. So yeah, dude, there's so many ways to meditate. You just have to start really small and have no expectation. Because if you're trying to meditate and you make it a stressful thing, um, it really literally fucking does the opposite. Where you're like, I'm trying to meditate, but I can't shut my mind off. Like, yeah, you're gonna fuck yourself up, dude. Just like chill. Start with small time periods, 1 to 2 minutes. First thing in the morning. Um, this was part of my morning routine that I forgot to mention to Dylan. I will wake up and just sit on the edge of the bed for like 2 minutes and just breathe and just think about things I'm thankful for and grateful for, right? And I know that sounds silly, but it works. It's helpful. It's a good way to start your day. Alex said, how often should someone run blood work? Bare minimum is once a year in a very, very large blood panel. Um, a blood panel with containing a ton of fucking markers once a year should be done. Better would be 2 times a year, whether it's that same panel twice a year. That's what I like to do. I run the same big panel twice a year. And then there's shit in between that if I'm chasing something down, trying to correct, I'll grab some labs randomly here and there. Bare minimum once a year. Next best would be twice a year. These guys doing blood work every 2 months, I just don't think it's necessary, but that's okay. You cannot do too much blood work, I don't think, as long as you're not a hypochondriac and just like paralyzing yourself with fucking anxiety. You can never do too much blood work, but bare minimum is once a year. I think for competitors, like 4 or 5 weeks post show is a good time to get blood work. Trying to get blood work before you start at prep is probably another good call. And then maybe if you're up for it, get some blood work mid prep. Competitors, I wouldn't mind seeing blood work of some kind 3-4 times a year. That's kind of my maximum, guys. I don't think you need blood work every 8 weeks. Like, I'm just being honest. It's like testing your bench press max every 8 weeks. Like, calm the fuck down. You didn't even give anything time to work. What's up, dude? Fucking influence over here with his fucking tripod. Fucking tripod kid already. Yeah, baby. Are you a fan of Cardarine to raise HDL? I've never used it. Some of my clients use it. I don't know if it does fuck all for their HDL. Most of your HDLs suck anyways. But no, honestly, dude, I've never used it for myself, so I can't speak if it's even beneficial for me. Yeah, I don't love to get into medications for sleep. John, you're really good with pharmacology, so I believe you. I would never fucking recommend a medication to anyone for sleep until I absolutely 100% know for certainty that their sleep hygiene doesn't suck ass. And it's very rare that I can't find something that someone's doing wrong. Melmac says, welcome, Mel. Thank you for being here. Too much fish oil makes me feel like I'm having an oil change. Yeah, you will start seeing fish oil in the toilet water if you hit that maximum ceiling. That's for sure. Guys, we are 1 hour in. I'm just going to drop a reminder to please go to TommyJohnCoaching.com, subscribe to my email list. I do not send spam, junk, bullshit mail. You're just gonna know when I'm going live. You're gonna know when Omega Amino is running a sale, which they are right now. Code Tommy, Leviathan. You're gonna start getting trips. Holy fuck, tips and tricks. I'm gonna start sending that stuff out. Last week I sent out a recipe for Instapot shredded chicken for ultimate digestible animal source of protein. Really, really good for digestion. That recipe I sent out. So you're going to start getting stuff like that. Weekly is the goal. Weekly, if not bi-weekly for sure. Greg Jones, welcome, dude. Welcome back. Hopefully you figured out your hiccups. Do you think a female that works out 4 to 5 days a week eats a healthy diet? Healthy. I love you, Greg. Should take creatine? If so, how many grams per day? Yeah, I think most people that exercise could probably benefit from creatine. I would start at 5 grams of creatine a day, whether you're male or female. Nowadays, people are getting it as high as 20. I don't know that it's needed. 10 to 15 is probably a good place to live for most people. I wouldn't love exceeding that. I wouldn't love exceeding that personally. Dylan, love me THC. Yeah, it doesn't love me. I love it, but it just fucks me up. Yeah, that's a great idea, Joey. He said if you want to meditate, go sit by a lake in the wilderness. Instant peace. Man, great idea. Great idea. Yeah, if you can get outside in nature, absolutely, absolutely. The only thing that brings me close to that, and it's stupid, it's expensive, it's not practical at fucking all, is having a cold plunge. Literally, when you first get into a cold plunge, it literally feels like a fucking benzo is entering your bloodstream. It's brutal at first, but like it just zaps everything out of your fucking body. I don't use it for like inflammation, you know. I literally use it to calm my fucking brain because nothing will flip your fucking switch like getting into some real cold water. But yeah, I don't use it for like inflammation of joints and stuff. I really don't think it helps with that. Like I would never use a cold plunge to recover from a hard workout. I use the cold plunge to turn my fucking brain off instead of taking a Xanax. Amy says the Balance app. So you guys can check that out if you're looking into starting your meditation journeys. Yeah, there was another one called Headspace. I used to use that one for a while. Headspace. Yeah. Joshua Davis. What up, dude? I usually run a high dose of melatonin. That's fine. Yeah, you got a whole stack. Sleep scores off over 90. I've tried the CBG, CBN, and CBD. Cooling pad is a game changer. Yeah, I think that's like I said, dude. But first, before I recommend any of that, even before I recommend melatonin, you have to get your life in order. You have to be going to bed at the same time. You have to be eating your meals at the same time. You need to be waking at the same time. You need to be limiting exposure to stimulus, whether that's social media, television, fucking whatever, just limit that. Yeah, you got to do the big ticket items first. Just like I tell you guys about losing weight, you don't need to add the retatrutide right away. Let's like get the scale fucking moving. Let's get the fat loss moving in the right direction first. Then absolutely we can add retatrutide if you're comfortable using it and use code Tommy, of course. Of course. You guys, you're silly. You're silly as fuck. John, reading will put dude, fucking reading this comment section is putting me to sleep. Reading will put you to bed. Warm bath with Epsom salt and dim the lighting. I felt I needed to whisper that. John. Talk to you later, bro. Yeah, I agree. That all good shit. Yeah, any way to shift the body temperature can really, really help with sleep. Yeah, and the lighting, of course. Yeah. I like this. Joshua Davis says, meditate in the gym while you're lifting for that mind muscle connection. Guys, I like what he's saying. Man, I don't know how to describe it, but like I think it was Dom Cardone. Do you guys know Dom Cardone? Probably. He's pretty well known. He described it as like Zen training. Like once you get to a point, it's normally when you have multiple years under your belt of lifting. Most of us, when we're, I don't want to say younger, but like earlier to training, let's put it that way. It's not always an age number thing. We're like really fucking intense. Like, dude, I used to slam my fucking head on the barbell and shit and blasting smelling salts and fucking getting in fights with my friends at the gym. Like, man, like caged fucking animals. And now like all that shit still goes on in my head, but like I just channel it into the set. And I'm like, I'm just gonna brutalize whatever the fuck I'm training, you know? And I put that intention, all that fucking crazy shit in my head, like, you know, wanting to fight my friends and fucking drive my car into a wall, like all that shit. I like internalize it now. And then that's just it's about becoming it's like the maturation process. It's about becoming a more matured professional lifter. We'll call it. I don't know what the fuck else to call it. It's just a maturation process of becoming more effective, more efficient, wasting less energy. Like guys, I used to I wish you could have saw how fucking embarrassing I was when I was a young cat. Guys, I've been kicked out of like I think 10 or 12 different gyms I've been kicked out of, like never come back. Like you can't fucking come back here, you know? Like I wish I was fucking kidding. I was such an asshole little kid. Guys, because I just had this fucking desire to get better and I still do, but I'm just much better at internalizing it. So yeah, I love that you said that, Joshua. Sorry, I was making sure that says Joshua. My vision's getting bad. It's probably the semaglutide. It's making me blind. Whatever. Yeah, dude, love that. Love that. Meditate in the gym. Yeah, guys, find that Zen mode. Like, crawl into that fucking lat and just like stretch that motherfucker while you're training it. That's what I think about. I think about crawling inside my chest and like pumping it up with a fucking bicycle pump, you know? Fucking weirdo. Tell me you've taken LSD without telling me. Mel says anything that would help you slow down. Oh yeah, he's talking to Mark. Yeah. Oh yeah, I like that too, Mel. He's talking about a sand garden. How can I not make a fucking Asian joke? Sorry. Love you. DLC over 10 to 15 years, you're going into over 10 to 15 grams, you're going into the cognitive benefits of creatine, he says. This study's coming out about the cognitive benefits are interesting. Yeah, man, they've gone as far as correlation to potentially reducing Alzheimer's and you know things like that. So yeah, it's funny because like I remember, you know, if you guys like took creatine in high school, Some of you are still in high school, love you, but um, like, dude, we used to have to hide our creatine from our parents, because like then like creatine was like it's gonna fucking ruin your kidneys, and now all the moms and dads that were like grew up in that era, they're like, hey Tom, you're like, what do you think about creatine? I'm like, I don't know, it ruined my kidneys in high school, so I don't think you should take it. Diesel Dave, my man. Oh, Dave. Yeah. He says music can be powerful. Um, Mood and state of mind, something very chill can help sleep and relaxation. Having different genres and styles throughout your day is pretty cool. Love that. Yeah, Dave and I share a lot of parallels with our obsession and passion about music. This tattoo on my inner arm here, it says, one good thing about music is when it hits, you feel no pain. I know you guys have heard that before. Um, Trenchtown Rock, Bob Marley, those lyrics are in there. They're in several things. They're in some rap songs, but powerful quote. One good thing about music is when it hits, you don't feel any pain. Um, Good shit. And music hits hard, man. I have chills just talking about music. I wish I was kidding, but I literally have chills right now. Maybe I'm going hypo. I don't know. J Money. Okay, we were talking about getting sick and training. When you get sick, how early do you get back into the gym? Do you want to try to get some light stimulus when you're back to 70%? The reason I laugh is because I have two different answers. One is what I do, and two is what I recommend to clients. If you're sick, stay the fuck out of the gym. Do not go into the gym. If you get me sick, I'm going to kill you. Not kill you, but I'll break your legs in the parking lot. I know you guys love that line. If you're sick, do not fucking train. Do not train. Do not train. Do not train. Um, Next question. Do you try to get some light stimulus when you're back to 70%? No. No. If you're sick, wait until you're 95, 96, 97%, however you need to quantify that. Like, truly know that you are ready to get back into the gym. Um, and you'll know. And here's the great thing. If there's one good thing about getting sick, you probably needed a break anyways, and your body is forcing you to take one. I know that sounds silly, but guys, when the fuck do we all get sick? It's when we have a vacation planned or we took 4 days off work and then like the first day you're like, fuck, I feel like shit. Or you know what I mean? Like that's when sickness always seems to hit. Like um after like when you're ready to relax or you have something planned, like that's when you get sick because your body knows that you're like you slowed the fuck down finally. So it's like, all right, here you go, asshole. Here's that sickness that we've been brewing. So yeah, J Money, just stay out of the gym until you're 100%, dude. 100%. Yeah. Chris R in the house. What's up, my dude? Welcome, welcome. Raymond says, I know for fact Tommy envisions beating my ass in the gym. It's everyone, dude. It's not just you. Don't flatter yourself. I want to rip fucking people's face off. I want to hurt myself. Like, and it's funny I say this shit, but this is all just internalized in my head. And like, guys, it's not healthy to be that way. It isn't. Here's what I noticed. Like, if you guys have been in here for the last few minutes, I was talking about when I was younger, how I was just fucking hyper in the gym, hyper, banging my head on the barbell, all that shit, blowing fucking smelling salts, destroying brain cells, whatever. I was fucking doing. Here's the problem. I was training myself to be that way. So then when I would leave the gym, I couldn't shut it off. I was training myself to be a fucking psychopath. Then some guy cuts you off in traffic and you're taking off your seatbelt, like ready to get out of the car. It's like, guys, I'm not a fighter. I fucking any one of you in this chat would beat the fuck out of me. I can't fight for shit. I've never learned how to fight. But I was training myself to be this fucking head case because that's what I needed at that time. That's what I needed at that time. And now I've learned to internalize all those things and really just channel them into something effective and efficient from an energy standpoint. But yeah, there was like this internal fucking rage, and I still have it. I'm just much better at making it productive. That does not mean Raymond fucking knows. Raymond knows. He knows when it's my set. He stays the fuck out of my way. He will help me load weights. He will not, he stays the fuck out of my way. I stay out of his way. That's my set. It's my turn. Leave me the fuck alone. Don't touch me. If you need to save my life by spotting me, please do so. Otherwise, I'm going to hell right now. In my mind, there's a fucking rage going on, right? Like I said, I've gotten better at internalizing it and making it efficient energy. But guys, if you do that too much, there's absolutely no way that that will not carry over to your day-to-day life. So you need to be careful with how much you press that button. And think about what that does on a CNS level. You know, if every set that you do is like the last set that you're ever going to do while you exist on this earth, how the fuck are you going to shift to a parasympathetic state after that workout? You just fucking, you just ran butt ass naked over gasoline fire with shards of glass under your feet while fighting, you know, enemies, like in hunting with a knife, bare hand. I don't know, whatever. Something very intense just happened. And then you just like have to go about your day and like somehow calm yourself down. So you need to be careful with how often you press that button, or you will. This is when we talk about fatigue management, that's where it's a thing. Where motherfuckers, I saw someone in the chat say Jordan Peters. Guys, that guy needs to be careful with fatigue management. And that's why if you ever see Jordan like on a podcast after he's done training for the day, he's sitting in the pitch black. And the interviewer's normally like, Jordan, like, why don't you have any lights on? He's like, I just got done training. I need to calm down. It's fucking awesome. I love it. John says, is it harder to carb load someone during peak week on Reddit TrueTide? Yeah, I normally pull Reddit TrueTide. Or how would Reddit affect the peaking process in general? You typically want to pull it depending on the division and how hard you need to fill out. Yeah, you're gonna want to pull Reddit TrueTide. You will have distension issues. You will if you do not remove it. Depending on the dose, maybe 7 days out, maybe 14 days out. Maybe even longer, maybe 3 weeks out. Guys, it slows gastric motility. You won't be able to process those carbs no matter how much insulin you take. Yeah, you need to pull Reddit in my opinion. My views have changed on this, but it depends on the division. Like if you're let's say a guy that does not need to fill out hard, maybe, or a guy or a girl, but bikini division, sometimes you can leave some of that stuff in if they don't need to fill out really hard. But yeah, you're better off pulling it. You're better off pulling it. Oh, Diesel Dave. Okay, yeah, man. Zen style of training is very intense. Super chill, but getting locked into that muscle. Guys, pretty much my last year has primarily been this style of training that Dave is talking about. Guys, if you see the weight that I'm using on most shit, I could literally probably use 4 or 5 times the amount of weight that I'm using. Like, not trying to toot my own horn or anything like that. But you have to remember, like, there was one point my primary focus on in life was just being as strong as fucking possible. Guys, a lot of that strength I still have. It took me years and years and years to build it. It's still there. I need to be very careful when and how to use it. So this Zen style of training that we're talking about, it's really not for beginners, in my opinion. I think beginners need to go through some fucking periods where they're just slanging and banging. I miss that. I miss that in the world. Look at this guy's form. It sucks. Yeah, but he's fucking working hard. Yeah, some of that's needed. I think there's a balancing act for sure. But yeah, man, that Zen style of training where everything else in the world just disappears and you're focused on the target muscle, like I think Arnold even said that. And that was way before anyone, he was wise beyond his years. And I'm not like a big Arnold fan or anything. No offense. Love you, but don't really care. But he said something like the bombs could be going off outside and like he's just fucking focused on his bicep curls, like, and yeah, I agree with him on that. David said, My mom used to think creatine was steroids." Yeah, yeah, half natties. I mean, dude, some of the shit they used to sell at fucking supplement stores were legitimate steroids. So our parents they were on to something. They just had the wrong they just had the wrong one. um he said also there's way too many people at the store. I hate shopping on the weekends. Yeah, dude. We do pick up. Um we do pick up. So I just roll up, pop my trunk, and like some nice gentleman or lady will help me load the trunk with the groceries that I ordered. Um and the grocery store that we do um actually doesn't charge any extra for that, so that's cool. Joseph in the house, would you consider a solid lat contraction similar? Okay, sorry, let me read this before I fuck this up. Would you consider a solid lat contraction? He's talking about the shortening of the lat, similar to a bicep or chest contraction, shortening of the chest or shortening of the bicep. Would you consider Oh, are all those things similar is what he's asking. I've been struggling to engage my lats the way I do other body parts. Yeah, this is a lot of people's problem. Yeah, this is a lot of people's problem. It's good that you can feel your chest because some people can't. So one thing that I would encourage you to do, so the lat is a weird muscle, right? Because it ties in sometimes all the way the fuck down like to your hip, you know? So if you look at an anatomy chart and you look at the lats and what they're responsible for doing, um, man, they do a lot. So the contraction is a bit different in the lat, in my opinion, because some guys and girls will only feel their teres. They're doing a lat pull down, and like all their training is like the teres muscle, right? But like one thing that you could try, Joseph, and um, it would be like I'll, I'll I'll have to post a video. Maybe it's on my Instagram somewhere. Basically, I do a lat pull down. I call these Dr. Danny pull downs. Chris Edmonds has a video on his YouTube channel. They're called Dr. Danny pull downs. But basically, it's your front foot forward, but it's under the leg pad, and you're kneeling on the ground. And hopefully, you can still hear me. But as you pull down, you kind of lean into it, open the scapula, kind of lean into it and crunch into it. And even if you just do this right now, like wherever you're sitting or standing, you'll be able to feel it. So like kind of crunch down and like really shorten that lat. I can feel mine cramping right now. And the other thing to keep in mind is you almost want, hopefully you can see me okay. You almost want the arm kind of out in front of you and the back kind of set back. That way, you're kind of here instead of here. Because when you're here, you're not hitting that lat anymore. You want to hit it like driving. I think about driving the elbow like straight down and crunching down into it. Um, that's one way to really feel the lat um, in the shortened position. Yeah, Joey's talking about Jordan Peters. The dude is undeniably impressive. He said, I don't think it's the best approach for bodybuilding. I don't either. I don't either. But he's doing what he loves doing. He's training the way he loves to train. So, man, can't bash a guy or a girl for doing that. You can. Fuck it. Yeah, you can. But yeah, is it the best approach for bodybuilding? I don't think so personally. I think some of it is. I think we need to take like a little bit of Jordan Peters and we should all have a little Jordan Peters in us, you know? But and press that button when it's needed, but it's not needed on everything. Guys, fuck. It's a balancing act. I'm telling you, the answer, you got to ride that center line. A little bit of pretty shit, a little bit of heavy shit. Like, um, you need a blend of everything, you know. Adam in the house. What's up, Adam? He says, yo. Adam, please subscribe to my email list if you haven't. I don't send any junk emails or nothing like that. It's all going to be productive stuff. Just giving you heads up of when I'm going live, shit like that. Raymond says back when Superdraw was legal. Yeah, Superdraw, methyl 1D was like a 1-andro, 4-andro. There were all sorts of fucking designer steroids that you can buy right off the shelf. They weren't always like on the shelf. Sometimes they were in a little plexiglass with a key. You knew that was the good shit when you had to ask for it. Like, you got ID, bro? It's like, no. You have to play Hey Mister. Yeah, you guys ever play that game? People buy you cigarettes. You stand outside the gas station. Like, hey Mister, I forgot my ID. Can you buy me some cigarettes? Oh well. Mel asks, how the hell did Arnold get away with not doing cardio in prep? Not everyone needs to do cardio, dude. Fucking Scotty Mize probably doesn't have to do any cardio. I don't know if Scott's still with us, but he probably has to do minimal cardio. I didn't do much cardio at all my last competition prep. We did like 5 days of 30 minutes for like a week or two, and then it was gone. You got to remember Arnold's lifestyle. Very chill, not a lot of stress, lots of money, lots of time on his hand. Fucking spending most time at the beach smoking weed, like just fucking chilling. His stress levels were low, low, low. He's training, high volume, high intensity, training frequently, probably not eating a lot. Those guys didn't eat a ton of food. Some of them did, but not until like the 80s and 90s and early 2000s when you really started to see guys get big. That's why they're eating a fuck ton of food. The golden era guys, like, they weren't eating that much food. And they were really intuitive with how they dieted. They would just eat a little bit less and kind of just eat when they're hungry. Like, they were like the closest thing to like normal humans, as far as how they dieted. So keep that in mind, because we could actually learn a little bit from that era. We could learn a lot from that era, to be fair. Riley in the house. What up, my dude? Condition standards just weren't as good when he was training, and he was training twice a day. Yeah, the condition in the golden era. Fuck, I don't know why it's called that. Whatever. Yeah, the standards were different for sure. They weren't like dry, nails hard, fucking glutes that you could literally, I don't know, whatever. You could do like the tread depth tests, like on a tire. How bald are these tires? I don't know. Let's see how deep those glutes are. Like, that's today's standard, which is good and bad in its own way. Tom says, people talk a lot of shit about O'Hearn, and I don't follow the guy, but he lifts with grace. I don't know that I've seen him lift I don't watch any of his stuff. I've seen like little, like whatever, little clips. But yeah, I'm sure. I mean, the dude is he's a freak, like whatever. I don't care if he's natural or not. He's a freak. He's a freak. He looks great. He's annoying as all fuck, but whatever. Riley says Jordan Peter is the GOAT. Shit makes me so happy to see. Resonates so much with me. I wouldn't call him the GOAT. Absolutely not. He's not the GOAT at anything. But he's a badass. I will agree there. There's things we can learn from him, and there's also things that we can learn not to do from him. Trudge Ford, my man. Arnold was framing homes and training twice per day when he was first winning the Olympia. Yeah, yeah. He just and guys, we're talking about Arnold. He's like not normal. He's not fucking normal. The dude could have played fucking I don't know. He could have played cricket and got in shape. He could have fucking played mini putt for his cardio. You know, the dude was a freak. He's still a freak. He still looks great. But yeah, he absolutely trained hard and worked hard and all that shit. Amy said, I did quite a bit of cardio in my prep. Don't get fat in the off season. It's not just about whether, you know, you were fat in the off season or not. Some people just need more cardio than others. Some people need more cardio than others. Where I really see it shift is after people have been absolutely peeled like 4, 5, 6 times, like dug the fuck out peeled, you likely will need less cardio. And the more muscle you acquire over years, people with more muscle, high amounts of muscle. I mean, Arnold had an incredible amount of muscle. Guys, muscle does burn fat. It does raise the metabolic rate, and it is going to require less cardio the more muscle you have. The more muscle you have is guys, a lot of these pros, these IFBB open pros, just to give you a perspective on like how much muscle mass I'm talking about, because Amy has a lot of muscle on her. But when you're talking about an IFBB professional, an open pro, man, that's a lot of fucking muscle. And they stay quite lean year round, to her point. But with all that muscle, man, you don't need much fucking cardio. Walking up and down the stairs is like your body thinks you're exercising just because you got to move all that muscle around. You got to move blood and nutrients to all those big muscles. And it's like that really revs up the metabolism. Mel said Jordan also dealt with a lot of injuries. Yeah, but he doesn't care because he loves what he does. That's how he wants to train. That's how he's going to train. But yeah, for sure. Alex said, what about Lee Priest not giving a fuck and winning trophies? McDonald's on the regular for him. I don't know that he didn't give a fuck, dude. He puts off that persona. But man, he was just as dialed as anyone else. And that dude trained like an animal. And he's an absolute freak. I mean, it's Lee Priest. Fucking Phil Heath always cheated on his diet. Always cheated. Phil Heath was always cheating on his diet. I literally have people that have seen him in the fucking McDonald's drive-through during prep. You know, I had a friend who lived in the same town as him. He's like, there's Phil again at McDonald's post-workout, you know. We're not talking about normal people, guys. And normal is not a knock on anyone, but if you want to compare yourself to people like Lee Priest and Phil Heath, like for example, like not a good idea. Not a good idea. That's not normal. It's the furthest thing from it. Mm-mm-mm. What else? What else do you guys got? Oh, Amanda sent me a message that said, if Mark, if you're still in here, she said the Aura Ring has guided meditation. So keep that in mind. She said Aura Ring has great ones. Um, and it's with the Headspace app. So yeah, Aura Ring, I guess, has some built-in guided meditation. Mel said he gets dialed in when it counts. He's a robot. He's talking about Lee Priest. Yep. I agree. What else you guys got? I think we got through all the questions. I see some people are falling off. Yeah, the Aura Ring's cool. That's a good one for sure. Um, yep, we covered a good amount of stuff today. It was we had a lot of good questions. I got those all answered. You guys got anything else? Or probably pop out of here pretty soon. I'll give it 5 minutes, see if any extra questions come in. Dave has one here. What is one thing from your younger years you wish you could still do today? I see my old skateboard and I think I still got it. Oh yeah. Skateboarding would be one for sure. Um, yeah, man. I would love to be able to do that still, Dave. Yeah, I wouldn't even think twice about stepping on one because I would break my fucking hip. Um, but I still watch skateboarding videos, dude. Like, I still watch the Street League and shit. And like, man, people have gotten so good at skateboarding over the last 2 decades that I've not been involved with it anymore. Yeah, skateboarding has really advanced, like all sports do. But like, is some of the girls like? I love watching some of the new girls coming up skateboarding. They're fucking sick, dude. They kill shit. They absolutely kill shit. It's so cool. Um, oh, John asks, what calorie amount would you consider to like say someone has a fast metabolism? Oh man, it's like it's such a wide range. It would be crazy to give an exact number, but um it's not unheard of for people to start preps at 6,000, 7,000 calories. Um, I've seen that before in some of my bigger guys. Um, fucking Amy, like we had Amy's food like high as all fuck at one point. We just had to start bringing her food down because her metabolism finally started chilling the fuck out. Um, and there's stress levels started shifting, and supplement changes, electrolyte balances. So like for Amy, we're now able to start actually pulling food back a little bit, um, because she was absolutely punishing food and just ripping the fuck through it. And we built this metabolism into like we built her metabolism into like just a freight train that would not fucking stop. And like for perspective, I won't say her body weight because I don't have permission to do so. But you could probably guess what it is. And like for 3 4 days leading up to her show, we probably had her 700 800 carbs. Like she was fucking pounding food. I would have to go look back at my notes, but she was probably somewhere well over 3,000 calories, into the 4,000 calorie range for sure. Um, and that's a NPC bikini competitor, and she was punishing food. And I've had guys that are 210 eating fucking 1,900 calories to get them in shape. Um, and don't get me wrong, her food was low at one point, but once we dialed her in and um and we got the metabolism fucking revved up, man, we just started having to feed it. It was awesome. It was so much fun. Um and like I would prescribe the food and I'd look at it before I send it. I'm like, it's a lot of fucking food, I'm like, Amy, how's your digestion? How's your appetite? Oh, I'm all good. All right, cool. Here's fucking 800 carbs. Just send it. Let's go. Yeah, so Amy said I can say her body weight. Yeah, on stage we were a little bit below 120, 120 pounds, and she was eating well into the 3,000 calorie range. Um, Lots of carbs. She said all the honey and rice cakes. Guys, we were slamming carbs. Um, and that we even after the show, the weeks following, the food was getting higher and higher and higher. And then finally her body started balancing out a bit. Now we're pulling food back a bit and she's in a really good spot. We put on a lot of good new tissue and now we're just going to start to kind of harden her up a little bit, kind of hold where we're at, and just slow down um, the number on the scale a little bit. The condition is still great, but you don't want to rapidly put weight on anyone, just because you will shift things like aldosterone, and you'll shift things like blood pressure, and you'll put more stress on the heart and the kidneys. It's not just about like, oh, we got to keep Amy's abs with veins in them. No, it's not about that. We need to keep Amy healthy and insulin sensitive so we can have her, you know, continue to have a productive off season where we are gaining more muscle than fat, right? Fucking Dave said carbs are the best. I don't have Dave's numbers in front of me, but like the amount of fucking food that that we've pushed him up to is absurd. Absurd. Like, guys, like over 200 carbs a meal and shit. Like, just fucking. I think Dave is maybe one of the people that I've pushed food the hardest on. Um, and part of it is his steps are very high. He's a very chill person, so he stays out of that sympathetic drive. He's very parasympathetic when he needs to be and can be. Um, so yeah. He's one guy that really processes food well and in high amounts. John asks, "How long do you like to run health phases for?" Um, Asking for a friend. You run a health phase as long as it's needed, you know. There's no set amount of time. Some people, I mean, it depends where the health phase starts for one. Um, and like I do health phases a little different. I spend time um I spend time building up the metabolism, building up some of the mitochondria health, kind of pulling back on training a little bit, just making people feel good. Um, Before we either start prepping or whatever. So yeah, the health phase is for health. So you want to run it until like you, you want to run it a good amount of time. Well, I don't know. Let's call it 6 to 8 weeks sometimes, maybe longer. Amy said, I miss the ab veins, but I know they'll be back at some point. Yeah, you don't want to stay too lean too long because you can get hurt. Um, Having a little bit of cushion for the joints is going to fuel performance, and performance is where you're going to grow muscle. So there's a balancing act there too. Scotty Mites chimes in and says, for fish oil, Costco, the Kirkland brand, and Walmart brand actually test the highest on third-party independent testing. Yeah, the Kirkland brand is good for sure. But some of that cheap shit on Amazon, it's literally rotten when it gets to you, or rancid. That's been tested a million fucking times, a million times. Some of those brands out there, you guys are taking rancid ass fish oil. So yeah, Kirkland would be the only like generic brand that I would probably recommend. Walmart too. Yeah, I think they're similar manufacturers, different brand, but I think. John said, I feel really healthy. Yeah, that's what everyone says. Yeah, Kirkland it's not just their fish oil. Like most of their stuff is tested very high. in quality. Stan Efferding did a lot of his own testing on some of these products, as well as seeing independent third party testing. Stan Efferding really brought a lot of light to how good some of Kirkland's stuff is. They have a lot of shit too, so you have to be careful. Amazon, Scott says, is a shit show. Yeah. Yeah, you can't trust everything on Amazon for sure, as much as we wish we could. But yeah, I'd rather spend the extra money on a good quality fish oil, especially if you're dosing it high. If it's fucking if it's Susie who's 55 years old and she's just trying to, keep her heart healthy and she's only taking 1 to 2 grams of fish oil a day, yeah, like maybe the quality matters a little less, but like an open bodybuilder who's smashing 4, 6, 8, 10 grams of fish oil a day, that shit better fucking be high quality. And this is where I get into the debate of not debates, but this is where I bring some attention to um, the quality of food that you're using. No, it doesn't have to be grass-fed organic because sometimes that is bullshit. Sometimes those labels are made up, unfortunately. You have to be very careful with that. But what I'm talking about is like the pans and instruments that you're using to cook. Like if you're using Teflon pans and you're cooking fucking all your chicken in there and you're eating like 10 pounds of chicken a week and it was all cooked in Teflon, you're fucking eating Teflon. You're eating plastic all week long. I promise you are. I promise you are. It's been tested a million times. Like Teflon pans are very dangerous for bodybuilders because of the quantity of food that we eat. Again, if my example woman Susie, 55 years old, she cooks her 4 ounces of chicken in a Teflon pan, and she eats 2 meals a day. No, her toxicity and exposure to Teflon is much lower than an open bodybuilder who's eating 10, 12, 15, 16 pounds a week at minimum of chicken, right? Um, so the exposure is what matters in a lot of things. But yeah, if you guys want to use cheap supplements or low quality supplements, but you're using them in high quantity, I think that's a really fucking bad idea. I think it's a really bad idea. Um, if you're using a lot of something, it should really be a good quality. Um, a little bit of garbage, not gonna have extreme, you know, toxicity, but massive exposure. And anything an open bodybuilder does is in high quantity and high frequency. So that's where some of that stuff matters. Mel says, "Is Kirkland's olive oil any good?" I don't know. Olive oil, it should be in a dark glass bottle. That's how you know your olive oil's good, high quality. I think that's very important, especially if olive oil is frequently used in your diet. Again, if example woman Susie, 55 years old, is cooking her eggs in a tablespoon of olive oil every day, not a huge deal. But if you guys are adding 4, 5, 6, 10 grams of olive oil to 5 of your meals a day, you're taking 2, 3 ounces of olive oil in a day. Um, yeah, that better be good quality because, like I said, the exposure matters and the amount of exposure. So yeah, keep that in mind with things that you're using high amounts of. Just make sure it's good quality because the poison is in the dose and the exposure and the frequency, which are all kind of the same thing. What else? Yeah, Mel, I use For olive oil, it's called Papa Vince on Amazon. It's pretty expensive, but it tastes good, and it's a very high quality. I don't mind spending some extra money on good quality food. That's not where I'm looking to cut corners and save money. There's a lot of other shit we waste money on. I'm not going to do it on the stuff that I'm putting high amounts of into my body. I'd rather spend a good amount of money there, because I'm using a lot of it. Um, so yeah, that's how I look at that. And guys that are newer and um younger, guys and girls that are newer and younger, and they don't have like established like careers where they're making like a decent amount of money where they can really comfortably live. Um, yeah, I mean, you just bodybuild the way you can. Like if you want to bodybuild, you do it the way you can. And there's extremely cost effective ways to do that. Um, there's great affordable food and supplements, like Aldi, for example, we have in the Midwest. I think it's global wide. I don't know, but Aldi is they have quality food for a good price, um, and buying in bulk like Sam's Club, Costco, they all have good quality stuff. So yeah, there's of course ways to be budgetary. If money is maybe not tight, but maybe not plentiful, where you can stand to be a little looser with it, right? Amy said, poison is indeed in the dose. It's true in all things food, people, supplements. Yeah, 100%. 100%. Yeah, the exposure is absolutely where the poison is for sure. Thoughts on Nutricost and Doublewood in terms of quality? A lot of the Nutricost stuff is good. Um, from what I've seen. Doublewood as well. There are some there are some things out there that says that Doublewood um, potentially was faking some of their COAs just because like some of their numbers would come back at like 100%. And people are kind of like, whoa, 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 why isn't it like 99.7? Like why is it 100? And why is it the exact fucking dose? Like 250 milligrams, it's 250 milligrams point zero. And like, so some people were kind of like, I don't know about Doublewood. But in my experience, all the Doublewood stuff that I have used has been really good quality. And I do know of a person who owns a supplement store, and they actually tested some Doublewood stuff on their own. They sent it out on their own and had it tested, and it all came back good. So I think Doublewood's good quality personally. Nutricost as well. I do really believe it's probably a good quality, um, in my opinion. Jay Money said thoughts on Eric Clapton. Eric Clapton is wonderful. He's hopefully you're just talking about him as an artist, because like if you're trying to talk about like um I don't know if he has like politics stance. I always have to be careful with that because I don't know if he has like any weird like politics stance or anything like that. Oh yeah, just his music. I think he was one of the only people to ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame like 4 or 5 times. Um, I think he's one of the greatest artists to ever exist. I think you'd be hard pressed to find any musical artist who does not have Eric Clapton in their playlist. We used to say on their iPod, right? There were like certain artists that's on every artist's iPod, and like Eric Clapton would likely be one of them. Um, like the Beatles, obviously, probably Biggie Smalls, like he's probably on everyone's iPod. Like I don't know what the fuck you call it anymore. People don't really pay for music anymore, but we got Spotify and everything, right? So yeah, Eric Clapton, I think he's legitimately one of the only people to ever be inducted into the Hall of Fame 4 or 5 times. You know, Derek and the Dominoes and Eric Clapton alone, and then a couple other collaborations. I think he's the ironically, I think he's a brother-in-law of one of the Beatles. I might be wrong there, but I'm pretty sure he is. Um, or vice versa. I don't know. My mom never let the TV be loud, so as a kid, I chose to sit in my dad's office, and all he had was Eric Clapton CDs and my older yeah, Eric Clapton's awesome. Eric Clapton's great. Yeah, we grew up on a lot of Eric Clapton. My dad was a huge fan of Eric Clapton. Um, you had, Steve Vai, you know, Steve Vai was huge. You had the G3, the group, um, where it was like Clapton, Steve Vai, and Eric Johnson. It was the three of them. Eric Johnson is great. I think that's his name. Pretty sure. My brother is. I don't play much music anymore, but I used to play guitar. My brother's still a really good guitar player, and yeah, we're big fans of Clapton. Um, you know, big fans of Stevie Ray Vaughan, Steve Vai, all those influential guitar players are outrageous, outrageous, tons of talent, you know. But yeah, Clapton's good shit, dude, for sure. The old American Fender guitar player. Tom said, "What's your cycle?" I'm taking tests, Masteron, and Primo right now. And then I use a little bit of test base pre workout 2 or 3 times a week. And then I'm using growth hormone. I was kidding. Well, there you go. That's what you got. Test Primo Masteron and growth hormone. Let's see. another fighting chicken question. If they were attacking Landon, I got this one last week. Would I use a blowtorch or a machine gun? Would I use a blowtorch or a machine gun? I guess it depends on how much ammunition I had for either one. Like, am I going to run out of fuel for the blowtorch, or am I going to run out of uh, bullets for the machine gun? And then I guess the accuracy and distance would matter. If I would hate to open fire automatic machine gun and not have accuracy if my son is there, right? Um, I need something Clapton esque for a couple of hours of work today. I need a recommendation. I would look into it's kind of Clapton ish. I would look into Derek Trucks, Derek Trucks, spelt like trucks, Trucks. Derek Trucks is the lead guitar player for the Allman Brothers, or he was the lead guitar player for the Allman Brothers. You can find the Tedeschi Trucks Band, which is him and his wife. You can find him in different collaborations. There were a few different groups that Derek Trucks was involved in. But if you like the Clapton, like clean guitar sounds, Clapton got a little distorted with some stuff, like with Cream and stuff. There was a little more distortion and rock, but Derek Trucks would be a good artist that you could look into and expose yourself to some of that. I think you would like Derek Trucks. He's one of my favorite guitar players. Very unique sound. Amy said my immediate thought was a blowtorch. Can you imagine the smell of burning feathers? Yeah, I kind of thought about the smell as well. I did think about that as well. That's a good point. Very good point. What else do you guys got? We're 2 hours. I gotta eat my next meal. Um, yep, J Money's out of here. Yeah. Thanks for coming, dude. Guys, TommyJohnCoaching.com. Sign up for the email list, please. Like I said, I don't send any bullshit out. It's just gonna all be productive stuff that hopefully helps you, letting you know when I'm going live, stuff like that. Little hacks and uh tricks and stuff that will help you guys um, with the process of achieving your goals. So we'll do some training stuff, some nutrition stuff. We might dive into some peptides a little bit. There's so much peptide shit out there that I don't love even touching on it, um, just because I'm so sick of seeing everyone's carousels on Instagram. It's like, oh, here's another fucking peptide shit. It's like, stop. But if you guys are researchers of peptides, Omega Amino, code Tommy. We're running a sale. Keep that in mind if you do need to re up on any research stuff. So cool. Thank you all. Love you all. Appreciate you. See you on the next one. We will do another one next Saturday. Happy Super Bowl. If you guys do that, I do not do that. I don't even know who's playing. So there's that. But yeah, we're all good. TommyJohnCoaching.com. Join the Chase Irons Forum, chaseironsforum.com. And thank you all for being here. Get some workouts in this weekend, get some good food, spend time with family, be grateful. See you guys.